Today we're making bắp cải cuộn thịt, Vietnamese cabbage rolls. Traditional Vietnamese family cooking is at its core incredibly healthy. Vegetables are delicious and bountiful in Vietnam and hence are incorporated into many dishes. Poaching and steaming are also commonly used methods of cooking because they allow for the flavors of the ingredients to be the stars of the show. Like many other cultures, we have found that cabbage leaves make the perfect wrappers. The natural sweetness from the cabbage balances perfectly with the savory filling. No crazy techniques or heavy sauces that overpower, you can really taste every single ingredient in this dish. These rolls can easily be made vegan by using your alternative meat of choice or more mushrooms and replacing fish sauce with soy sauce or vegan fish sauce. Just like with nem rán, every family makes their own version of this dish. The meat is almost always pork, but other ingredients in the filling can vary. Some people add tomatoes to their sauce, making it similar to cà chua nhồi thịt or đậu phụ nhồi thịt, while others add a lot more water and make it into a soup. No matter the variation, this dish always hits the spot. Today, I'm going to show you how to make my version. Let's get started. For this recipe, we'll need cabbage, garlic chives. Green onions may work in a pinch, but they're not as sturdy and break easily. Carrot, ground pork, wood ear mushrooms, shiitake mushrooms, shallot, ginger, fish sauce, bouillon, and ground black pepper. We'll start by rehydrating the wood ear and shiitake mushrooms with boiling water. Pour boiling water over the mushrooms, add a plate or lid to keep the heat in, then set aside for the mushrooms to rehydrate. Next, we'll prep the cabbage. If you're making enough to use up the entire head, you can cut out the stem and boil the entire head for about 3 minutes before separating the leaves from the head. If not, you can cut individual leaves off of the cabbage head. Carefully cut out the stem and slowly remove the leaf so that you don't rip the leaves. If they rip a little bit, that's okay. These will be folded in from the side anyway. Next, we'll cut to separate the dark green leaves from the light green stems or bulbs of the garlic chives. When you buy garlic chives, they will usually come in stems like green onions, with each stem having 4 to 6 blades of varying sizes. You will want to select only the long mature blades for tying up the rolls because they're sturdier. You will likely end up taking the mature blades from about 4 to 5 stems. For the light green bulbs and smaller leaves, we will chop those up and add them to the filling. However many cabbage rolls you're making, you will need the same number of long mature leaves to tie up each roll. Next, we'll add water to a pot and bring it to boil. Add 1 or 2 cabbage leaves at a time and blanch for 1 minute. Once done, remove to a bowl or strainer, then continue with the rest of the leaves and let cool. If you have small or broken leaves, I like blanching a few of those as well so we can use them to patch up larger leaves that have a rip. Next, blanch the mature chive leaves that we're going to use for tying in the same pot of water for 30 seconds, then remove and let cool. Set the blanching water aside for later. This will become our broth for the cabbage rolls. Now we'll make our filling. First, peel and julienne your carrot. Next, peel and mince shallot. Strain and rinse the wood ear and shiitake mushrooms. For the wood ear mushrooms, trim off any woody bits, lay a few mushrooms on top of one another, slice into ribbons, then finely chop. For the shiitake mushrooms, trim off any thick stems, thinly slice each cap, then finely chop. Next, chop up the stems and smaller leaves from the garlic chives. To a mixing bowl, add the ground pork, carrot, mushrooms, shallot, chopped chives, fish sauce, bouillon, ground black pepper, and mix until well combined. To make them easier to roll, use a knife to trim off the thick spines of the cabbage leaves. To make a roll, take a piece of cabbage leaf and place the stem end away from you. Add 2 to 3 tablespoons of filling, depending on the size of the leaf, about 3 centimeters away from the tip closest to you. Shape the filling into a rough log. Fold in the 2 sides so that they're parallel, fold up the bottom flap, and roll tightly towards the stem. You can trim off some of the stem if there's too much. Take a blade of chive and place it underneath the roll, wrap it around the roll, and make a knot. And here's our first completed roll. If you have a leaf with a rip like this, you can use another small piece of leaf to patch it up. Here are our completed rolls. As you can see, the size of the rolls naturally vary because of the size of the leaves. This is optional, but I like to trim off any excess bits of chives, leaving only about 2 centimeters on either side of the knot. Next, cut your knob of ginger into slices. No need to remove the skin, the ginger is only used to flavor the broth. Add all of your rolls to a pot. Pour in the reserved blanching water. Add the ginger slices. Season with fish sauce and bouillon. Cover, bring to boil, then reduce heat to medium and simmer for 15 minutes. Remove the rolls to a plate. Pour the broth over them, then serve immediately. So perfect. The cabbage is tender and sweet, and the filling inside is umami, and it's just so delicious. So healthy, but hits the spot.